Hey everybody here, I'm just interviewing Hussain Aziz here, the up-and-coming SEO guru here. So yeah, me and Hussain were actually talking earlier before this interview, and it looks like me and him actually have a lot of similar interests, like with Dubai and British properties and all of that. We'll kind of get back to that later. But what I always like to kind of introduce all my guest speakers here is just kind of, maybe Hussain, you can maybe tell the audience here a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. So, like you said, my name's Hussain, and I've kind of really been into online marketing the last couple of years or a year or so. And
Right.
I just fell in love with the industry and really immersed myself. And, I had a few successes here, and just looking to probably grow even more. And it falls in line with, my entrepreneurial personality. And
Right.
And yeah, just trying to rock it out and have have a good time doing it.
No, for sure.
So, yeah, that's pretty much a little bit about myself and what I do.
For sure. Well, Hussain, for this, how long have you been doing it for?
Well, if I can break it down, I mean, the online part of it, I'd probably say just over 12 months now, so
Okay.
maybe just over a year.
Right.
But being in the entrepreneurial mindset, I think that's just always been part of me. Started when I was young. Started when I was young. My first adventure was when I was 14 years old.
Oh, really? What did you do there?
It's kind of a failed business, I guess. But my friend and I, when we were in grade 8 in high school, we kind of picked up a lawnmower and started to see, because we couldn't get jobs at the time.
Right.
Because we weren't legally allowed to work at that age. So, but that, I think we wanted basketball shoes for our upcoming basketball season when we finished grade 8. And, that wasn't going to stop us. So we picked up, borrowed one of his lawnmowers from his parents and went around door to door asking people if they need to have their lawn mowed. And we didn't care if they had grass or not, but you just show up and you do. And we did make some money.
I imagine so. Yeah.
And ever since then, I kind of realize. I realize that being an entrepreneur is probably where I want to go, and being in control of your own life.
No, for sure.
Being able to make decisions whenever you want to make a decision, and not have someone, have more control over your life than yourself. And that's the only way to live, in my opinion. At least that's the way I look at it.
Well, be your own boss, right? I think that's always
exactly
the way, right?
Being your own boss.
Right.
In almost every form possible. So.
Oh, definitely. Well, another question I was gonna quickly ask is, because you're all in the SEO and everything industry there, in the network marketing. Like, what part that kind of made you really interested in that particular area, though?
Okay. Well, I guess to start off, it's SEO and network marketing are two completely different.
Yeah, for
things.
sure. Yeah.
They're very different. When I first started, I kind of got a little started in network marketing, and like many others before me, came in fell flat on my face with the traditional marketing techniques that they teach you, and from there I kind of ventured online to see if there's other ways about doing things, and then I kind of got exposed to this entirely new world of learning how to market, not just learning how to market, but market online, and it was literally like that Matrix scene where they have take the red pill, blue pill.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you can ignore this and go back to what you're doing, or you take this pill and this is the truth and you can never go back.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it was like. You take that online Matrix pill, as you can put it, you can never go back. And
No, for sure.
And that's how I pretty much got into the online world. It was through network marketing, but again, online marketing, SEO,
Two different things. Yeah.
Yeah, very different things. Not
No
to say
worries.
they don't work together, but yeah, they're very different.
I'm actually kind of same too. Like, network marketing is probably the thing that kind of where I get the most knowledge. Where obviously network, right? You get to know more people, and that kind of led to what I do right now. Like, a little bit of I guess social media and all that.
Yeah.
And I do a little bit of real estate on the side, which I kind of explained to you. With I guess with the industry now, especially with the internet, it's always changing, as I'm sure you're aware of.
Yeah.
Like, the thing I kind of find that's kind of tough for someone that's kind of new is, back then I would say there's not much information, but nowadays there's just too much. A lot of people when they first start, they can get definitely very overwhelmed. You know what I mean, right?
Absolutely.
There's so much.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree. I totally agree with that sentiment. I mean, today we are living in the information age, and one of the side effects is sometimes there's just too much information.
Right.
And a way of kind of getting over that is once you learn about the online arena, one of the best ways to get around it is just kind of having clarity in your own sense, what you want out of this industry.
Right.
And once you have that clarity, exactly what kind of business you want, and what you want out of your business, and what kind of lifestyle you want to lead,
Right.
You'll have a better idea what information to look out for.
Right.
And you're right. It's a very very fast-paced industry. It's constantly changing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's one of the few industries where things can change overnight.
Yeah, for sure, definitely, yeah.
So and literally overnight. And again, one of the ways to get past that is just having clarity on knowing what you want out of your business, what kind of business do you want to set up online, and
Right.
then you'll be able to kind of seek the right form of information.
Right, definitely.
And so my advice would be to have clarity before you step in, and know what kind of lifestyle you want to lead and what you want out of this business.
Right.
And be as detailed and clear as you possibly can be.
Right.
And obviously it's not going to come right away when you step in, like, I'm going to have it like this, and this. That's going to come over time.
For sure.
Putting the pieces together. But generally speaking, you want to have some sort of idea,
Right.
what kind of lifestyle that you want to live from having this business that you look to set up.
No, I would say definitely, right, for sure. Well, with all that being said, then I guess you kind of touched a little bit on that. If someone was kind of start what you were mentioning, in the social media kind of
Yes.
industry, what, like I said, what advice would you give to someone that's completely brand new then?
Okay, for someone who's completely just stepping into the
Yeah.
water and fresh
Yeah.
into the industry, what I would say to them is, again, having clarity, and number two is you want to find someone who is there where you at least want to be,
Okay.
or maybe even maybe ahead.
Kind of like a mentor then, I guess, so to speak.
Exactly. That's exactly the next word I was going to drop. Is you want to find somebody that will kind of guide you along and mentor you through.
Right.
And being able to follow someone that you look up to is going to it's going to help you get over that information overload, because they're someone who's kind of been through it, and they'll help you kind of blast through that phase of information overload, because it can be information overload. It's I mean, it's tough to get by.
For sure.
Because you'll find one piece of information, and then there's 100 different versions of that one piece of information.
Exactly, yeah.
And right away, it can be holy crap. What do I do? And that's why having that one-on-one connection with somebody who can kind of guide you through, and I guess guide you through the landmines.
Yeah.
It'll help accelerate the process.
Right.
Definitely. Not to say you can't do without it.
Right.
You definitely can. But, I mean, you can help avoid certain landmines with a mentor, and they can guide you through. So that would definitely be my first recommendation. And so finding a mentor would probably be the best advice that you can get.
Right.
Not just from me, but anybody that's kind of been there and that's done it and been through the trenches. If you ask anybody today, if you had to start all over again, what would you do differently? A lot of them would probably tell you, I probably would have picked up a mentor or somebody to help me guide me along versus coming in fresh doing it all alone.
Fair enough. Well, since we're, I guess, on a topic of mentorship and all that, let's just say someone, like I said, back to the same example, they're completely fresh. Let's say they don't have too much, I guess, social skills, or they don't know too much people in terms of their network.
Yeah.
Or you recommend them getting I guess, that mentor then?
Where to find a mentor?
Yeah, so to speak, for them. Yeah.
Okay. It's great today. Social media is so big.
Right.
And people online today are much more welcoming.
Right.
I don't know if welcoming is the right word, but there's a lot more trust online than there was, let's say, 10 years ago.
Okay, fair enough.
It's much more, certified, and it's much more mainstream today. So it could be as simple as, opening up a Facebook account and finding. One advice I can give you is if you go and find a certain, let's say you're a fan of Robert Kiyosaki of sorts.
Yep.
And he has a lot of followers, people who are multimillionaires, and just a wide range of people who like Robert Kiyosaki. I mean, you can open up a Facebook account, put up your interests and your likes, and then go to a like page and become a fan of the Robert Kiyosaki page.
Right.
And you will notice that everybody that's following Robert Kiyosaki has that same type of mentality as you do, because they're following him for that same reason.
Yeah.
And through there, you will notice there's conversations going on the walls.
Yeah.
And you can join in on these conversations. You can join in and begin to add people as friends and develop relationships.
Right.
And as soon as you start doing that, once you start formulating these relationships, you can kind of make a deeper connection with these people and maybe get on the phone with them eventually.
Right.
And see and you'll start to find people who are slightly ahead of you, maybe even some people who are just in the same position as you are, just fresh getting started. And that way you can kind of, if you can't find that one mentor, you can at least find that you can surround yourself with a group of people who are kind of going through it, and you can go through it with somebody together. So
you can help each other.
Exactly. So Facebook is one avenue you can go. There's numerous places online. I mean, you could also pay for a mentor.
Yeah.
I mean, like coaching sessions with people.
Right.
Again, that depends on what you want, what kind of business you're looking for. You'll be able to find the right type of people out there who are big. There's tons of people out there that offer mentoring and coaching for a specific price. Coaching, but again, I guess there's a difference between coaching and mentorship. A mentor will coach you, but generally mentors, you kind of develop a relationship eventually, and it turns into a free. They don't charge you anymore. It's more of a friendship. And if you're starting off and you don't know anyone, you could always, if you're gonna spend money and you're willing to spend money, I think one of the best place to put it is into some coaching time with somebody, who's kind of been there and done it, and they can, and that way, they'll paint a picture for you that becomes much more clear. Right. And you'll begin to see the different pieces of the puzzle, and you'll be able to start formulating your own picture and your own image of what you want your life to be. And that in itself is priceless. You know what I mean? So that would be my recommendation. That if you have $100, $200, some people charge $100 an hour, some people charge $200 an hour. Right. You could always go to their blogs, and they offer coaching sessions. Right. And that's an avenue that I might be opening up on my blog as well. And those people, they definitely like helping people and giving back and speaking to you and guiding you through the way. And and one thing that I find in this industry is people are always looking to over deliver. So definitely. If you do your research and you can find a ton of people that are going to really commit themselves to you. If you take on that trust and tell them I can trust you and I have these few questions, can you give me an hour of coaching? There's not a lot of people who do you wrong for it. They'll really guide you and commit to helping you out.
No, for sure, I totally agree with you, because just kind of like you mentioned too, like when I kind of started out, like luckily for me, I guess my mentor and me kind of found ourselves together. Like I never was really looking for it; just kind of happened. So for me, it's very fortunate.
Exactly.
And it kind of just like you mentioned, my mentor would kind of show me all the information, kind of guide me through. Just like you mentioned, all the landmines. So I would attend like a lot of seminars and all that with them. So it's a lot of fun, a lot of learning experience. And I found the good thing about that, it saves you a lot of frustrations, right? I mean, definitely you'll still run into obstacles. I mean, you're probably still gonna fail. I mean, this is part of being successful, right? It's gonna happen, right? But definitely helped quite a lot in terms of, I guess, accelerating, your success, basically, right?
And acceleration, I would say, is the right word. As long as you're committed, and you're willing to, fight through any obstacle or wall that's put up in front of you, a mentor's kind of there to coach you and guide you along and encourage you to make sure you do hop over those walls. Because let's face it, it's very easy to quit, and a lot of people do. Excuse me. And that's why I think the success rate in this industry is it's not too high. But it's not because it's impossible. It's because I think a lot of people
give up earlier, I guess.
There's definitely a price you're gonna have to be willing to pay.
Right.
And if you're not willing to pay that price, well, you're just not gonna be able to get what you want out of it.
No, definitely. I think that's the same for anything, basically.
Exactly.
Fair enough. Well, the last thing I was gonna quickly mention too, kind of touch base before I kind of lose my chain of thought there. You mentioned about where your mentor will help guide you through and everything. And I guess a lot of people like to over deliver. And then you're actually really correct on that, because with my mentor, it's the same thing too. Like when he actually teaches his students too, like his reward is when they actually become successful. You actually like seeing that, the look of their face, their facial expression. He's really happy when that happens.
Exactly. And like this industry, the online marketing industry and network marketing is one of the few industries where the person above you is hoping that you do better than they do.
In a way, that's right.
Just hoping that you succeed even more. And that in itself, that structure, the way that it's set up, is totally to your advantage. Meaning they're going to be there for you no matter what it takes. As long as you show commitment and the determination, they'll be there with you 100% of the way. And what else could you ask for a certain industry? You know what I mean? Like someone who you might even be competing against, it wants you to succeed even more, and through that you both benefit.
Definitely, win-win,
So there's not a lot of areas, not a lot of industry where you can enter and say that. You know what I mean? So this is what makes this industry so great, and this is why it's becoming more and more attractive and becoming more and more mainstream.
No, definitely, for sure. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to cut this video here. I'm gonna shoot the part 2 here.